Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Living with Lucy here, and I just want to say first off, I missed you guys. I know if you've been following me for the last few years or one consistently on YouTube since 2020, it is 2025. It's in like over 5 years. And yeah, you probably see me do a lot of different things. I like to venture into a lot of different interests of mine. But YouTube is always the main thing that I care about. So I'm always gonna make time for YouTube no matter what. And I'm always gonna be interested in finance. So this episode is gonna be all about money. Money, 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 money. But it's not just about like stocks and crypto, which I will kind of touch upon, but it's more about like, as you can see by the title, lifestyle inflation, perception. Lifestyle inflation is something that I've like, always known about. Like, I know the gist of it without knowing that there was actually, like, a word, I guess, to describe people who make more money and then just end up spending so much money that they end up living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I see it. I see it. I've seen it my whole life. Like, even when as a kid, like, even as a child, like around 10 to 11, like I would look at my parents or friends' parents and people that they know and just kind of like collect that information in the back of my mind and be like, okay, so this person's like a doctor, or this person like runs their own business. This is around how much they make. And oh, interesting. Okay, so they're living like that. Or do they own the house? Okay, they're renting. Or how much are they paying? Oh, okay. So they're like completely broke. Or they can go on like 10 vacations a year. So there's like all these things that were always things that I just kind of like knew in the back of my mind, even if I didn't care that much about, or I didn't think I cared that much about like investing or finance as like a child. I didn't. If I did, I'd be like a multi-billionaire right now if someone told me about Bitcoin. And I understood like what compound interest was and started like at a younger age, which we'll get into later about that. But yeah, this video is going to be more about how I like little things that I've learned throughout my life and from people that I know that I think have helped me and hopefully are going to help you. But again, never financial advice, to your own DD entertainment purposes only. Hopefully are going to help you somewhat in guiding your finances or living a better life and just be happier no matter how much money you make. Because I really truly feel like so much of it is just like a game. Like making money, working a job, investing, whether you're retired. Honestly, I felt like I was semi-retired for like the last few years of my life, like from the pandemic to now just recently in 2025. If you don't know, I've just recently picked up like an actual job working for a company and literally hosting these whatnot live streams and being like a salesperson, right? So like that's what I've recently been doing. If you want to check me out on whatnot and watch me stream live for 4 hours and 8 hours straight, you can use the description down below. Literally everywhere that I am on in the internet, which is literally every corner of the internet, is going to be featured in my YouTube description. So if I'm not featuring it, then it's probably not me. Because why would I not want to advertise myself, right? But anyways, if you do want to check out my whatnot, link down below, there's three different ones, like three different accounts, because one called Hcostperformance is the one that I have been hosting on. So that's the one that I'm usually at. Again, not my products. I just host and I sell, right? Like I'm a salesperson. And then the other two, one is called Living with Lucy, which I have not made any shows on. I don't know why, but I do know why because I'm too busy. And then the other one's called Always Be Selling, which I'm supposed to be on at like 6 p.m. later today. But to be honest, I might cancel. I might not do it. I'll try to do it. Even if I do it, I'll probably like lose a bunch of money and just sell things at $1. It doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, there's just like all these things I'm doing right now. Um, lost my train of thought. But anyways, I just think that everything at the end of the day is a lot of it is perception. Let's start with stocks and crypto first. Okay. First off, I miss talking about crypto and stocks with you guys. And like, I feel like a lot of times, like, I'll wake up before like my day of like 8 hours or like 4 hour shift. And I'm just like, I do like a quick trade or I look at like my phone and look at my portfolios, and I think all these thoughts, and I'm like, I have nobody to like say this to. Like, I'll say it to my SO, of course, but then like sometimes when he's busy or he's like not available, like I just like I'm thinking it in my mind, and then I go off and like I do my thing, which has nothing to do. Like if I'm like doing a now live stream, like well, some people go there and they're like XRP is blah 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 price, or talking about crypto for a second. I don't know if they because they know me on YouTube or whatever, but there's like really nobody to talk to about crypto and stocks. So I'm just gonna blurt out a bunch. Oh man, it's really hot in here. I have to turn on my fan. Hold on, give me a second. Honestly, I question my life choices sometimes. I'm like, why do I live in California? It's so hot. And I just don't have AC here. So, anyways, let's talk stocks and crypto. So yeah, markets at 3.84 trillion, which is I'm gonna give it a little applause. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy stuff. Fear and greed index is in the 66 green level. Bitcoin is at $117,000, which truly just hurts because every time I look at Bitcoin, we're going to get more into like the whole perception thing, but every time I look at Bitcoin, not only do I think about the fact like, oh, life really just has its paths and like sometimes you can't cry about it. Like all of my friends, when we talk about Bitcoin, they'll say things like, oh, if only we'd invested, then we'd be like super rich right now. I'm balling and on a yacht. And I'd be like, yeah. Like I'm sure a lot of people, even not in my friend group, would like say these things and think these things. And even millionaires might be thinking, oh, had I just bought more, then I'd be like a billionaire right now and I wouldn't be working. So that is just something that I think a lot of people think about. So there's no point to be too sad about it. I think we're all on the same boat on that, unless you actually were lucky enough to invest in diamond handed for that long. But when I look at Bitcoin, it's not that type of pain. It's even actually just a recent pain. Even recently, like the beginning of the year when it was like in the low 70,000 range, but it felt very high, like felt like high 70s because you just don't know the future. So like before it hit 100K, I was thinking like, oh, look at these people buying it at 70s. Like it's maybe going to drop to like 50,000 and then they're gonna regret it. So that was like kind of my thought process for a bit, and now I feel really dumb. But you know, that's not the only thing I feel dumb about. There's a lot of other things. Ethereum's at 3,700. That I can feel really smart about because if you've been watching my streams, I already told you that like I bought it at around 1,700. So I'm up like yeah, I guess like 2 grand per Ethereum that I hold. So I'm very happy about that. Did I sell it yet? Nope. Which means this whole thing can fall apart on me at any point in time. XRP number 3, just I want to kick myself. Like I just want to kick myself when I see that because you guys know XRP and Ethereum are the first 2 cryptocurrencies that I still don't know how to look at charts. Like, let's be real here. I don't know how to read charts. I've always told you guys that. I actually have a book that I took from my man's dad that he didn't want like from a long time ago. I saw it at his like in his room. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's something about stocks and like reading chart analysis. And I'm like, oh, you're not going to use it? Can I have that? And I took it and I never read it. But I really should. Okay, I really should. Because the thing about like me and I guess technical analysis is that like I almost refuse it because it's like my body rejects it because I'm like, it is psychology, but it's almost like it's just made up by humans. And then all these humans are like, oh, okay, well, just like when this goes up and it looks like this W shape or it looks like this Thor shape or whatever, I just made that up. Then it's gonna go bam, bam, boom. And I just think that doesn't math with me. Like the math isn't mathing. But then recently I was thinking, like, okay, you know what? It does math because as insane as the world is, and all of it really is psychology. So, like, it doesn't matter if someone, like, just one day decided to say, okay, if it makes this W shape, then it's going to go up and we're all going to buy the dip at like this point, right? In time or whatever. And then it's going to go up. If everyone believed it, then it becomes true. So then I should study and I should understand it because it doesn't matter that I don't believe in the fact that someone made it up and it's just all like made up. But if everyone believes in the same thing, then it would benefit me to understand what everyone is thinking. So then I can make my choices based off of the possibility of most people thinking that. Of course, it's not fail proof, because if everyone could just read a book on technical analysis, then everybody would be like Warren Buffett, and that's just not the truth. So, anyways, that is to say, one day I do want to understand what everyone else is seeing, but it doesn't mean I'm actually going to follow those trades. But on XRP and Ethereum, I looked at the chart in my own little crazy way in like 2019, and I bought it because I was just like, I see a future. But I did not diamond hand my XRP because I held it through like the whole SEC lawsuits and all that right when it happened, and even during, when everyone like stopped believing in it, because I think it went to like well over the 40, 50s, I believe. Then it dropped to like 20 cents. And then that's when I still believed in it. But then I think I sold it at around 40 something cents, like 44 cents. So yeah, now I feel very dumb because I sold it last year. Sold it last year, like right before the pop. So conviction is something I also want to talk about with like stocks and crypto, because recently I looked at, oh, sorry, I got to keep loading my videos too. Just hustling all day long in all my different endeavors. Um, Yeah, this is my day off, by the way. This is, like, the one day a week that I am not, quote, unquote, working, like, for someone else's company, and now I can focus fully on myself. That's a whole other conversation I'll probably talk about on my second channel, um, which I pinned to the top of the stream, and you can find link down below. I call this spam Masubi Boo Boo. I really don't know why. And I'll talk more about, like, I guess just life stuff over there, and how how hard it is to be an adult. But it is really hard to navigate. Like, I feel like just one day off a week, like working 6 days a week, is pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. And I know that my friends and my family, like, all think I'm pretty crazy for doing, like, taking my body and my mind to, like, that level of working that hard, and still doing everything that I already did. Like, I basically worked for myself all this time, and then I'm now working for someone else. So I am going backwards. It's like people quit their jobs to go and do, like, social media, YouTube, or become, like, a day trader or whatever. I, like, basically did all of that with no job after I lost my job, and then now I am going back to a job while not giving up on any of the things that I decided to do. So it is pretty rough. Like, and I do think about how hard it is for me to add another item to the list of things that I am doing in my life, like including how I eventually want to have like a family. Like I want to make babies. If I'm lucky. That is like not really my choice. If I'm not lucky enough, then I wouldn't be able to. So I'm fine with that too. But yeah, it's really hard. That's like a life thing. But we're gonna stick with money right now. Okay. Give me 1 second as I try to get my bread and post my content. Which I'm glad that I still been doing that. Like I said, YouTube for me, this right here is like what I'm passionate about, and I'm lucky that it is monetized and I am making money. Not nearly enough to be like, I don't need to do anything else in life and I could just do this, which some folks clearly are if you're like Mr. Beast, or even if you're not at that level and you have like, I don't know, 2 million followers. Um, you don't really have to do anything else. You probably like have a team like to and manage you and all that. So for me, like I am trying to not get to 2 million subscribers or anything. I always told you guys like I just really want 100,000 subscribers. It's always been a dream since 2020, and I know I'm gonna eventually achieve it. And even if I don't, it's also okay. Like I feel like at the end of the day, like I said, it's all like mindset, it's all perception. Oh, hi there, Don. Sorry, hi there, David. Happy Friday. Please be subscribed and turn on notification. Yes, absolutely. I'm just glad that like you guys are here to hang out, or even if you are busy, because I know it's Friday. If you guys even like, you know, watch my videos even after, is really chill. And I'm thankful. But yeah. Um, I refuse to give up YouTube because I just absolutely enjoy it, and I feel like in life, when it comes to money and, like, passion and hobby, sometimes you can't have it all. I feel like if if I had a job that paid me, like, a lot of money, like, I don't know, $500,000 a year or something, but it wasn't something that I felt passionate about. Like, I don't know, there's so many jobs out there. Um, like I really do love boba, and I feel like running, like, a boba shop would be fun, but let's say I ran a boba shop and I made, like, $500,000 a year. I think that would be so awesome, and, like, if people liked my drinks that I made on my little menu and I could get creative, but it's not, like, a passion of mine. So then it'd be like, okay, you go to work or you run your own business and you make that much money, but then I just can't be that happy about it because I'm not doing the thing that I like ultimately want to do. So I think in life like that has to also be figured out because like happiness and money, I think it's two separate things. Like I love money, I feel like as most people do on this planet. Like, if you give someone like money is the language that the whole world speaks. Like, if you give someone a lot of money, like they're probably gonna like you. And as weird as that sounds, but I see it as okay, like you can make money for survival, but then you also should have the thing that makes you like happy. At least okay, that's just maybe that's not true for everyone, but for me, I feel like I have to do things that I like to do. It doesn't matter how much money I make. And then of course, I also care about kind of amplifying my abilities and making as much as possible. And then that also has like a emotional tie to it where I always think about like people I know or like my family members that I want to take care of or lift up. And I think about how like I am knock on wood healthy right now. Not that young, not that young anymore. I'm kind of old, but I am younger than my elderly family members that are like 80 years old. And I think about how like not that it's unfair because they had their chance and their moment in life to like grow and expand. But I think of it as like, okay, I am blessed to have the energy and the youth, really just energy, um, and that good health to do the work that I can do and make the money that I can make and they don't. So, like, I wanna do as much as possible and be able to take, like, my own family members out and people I love on, like, vacations and this and that. So I feel like that's also a drive. I don't know if it is like that for everyone else, but I feel like that also drives me. It's my own need and, like, I'm very crazy and competitive and, like, ambitious about my own future and like I set my goals and I want to hit them and then I want to beat that goal. But then I know it's also like a dangerous game where it's the hedonic treadmill of you may never reach ultimate happiness if you just keep increasing your goalposts. So that's why I always cap myself at a certain amount. I'm like, okay, I don't need $1 billion. If I honestly had $10 million, I'd be like, whoa. I'd be like, whoa, looking at my bank account like every morning, be like, this is a dream, pinch myself. Like to me, 10 mil, like I feel like if I ever got lucky enough to get that, I'm good. I'll be cruising through life without really being like, I need to make like 10 billion now. I need to be in like the $1 billion club. I don't think I want that. And I've like told myself a long time ago, I kind of want to cap these goals. Of course, I'm not going to stop myself. If it like lays in my lap and it just happens, then sure. But then I don't want that to be like, oh, I need to hit like $1 billion or like $50 million to be happy. And like, let's say you get to 1 million, you say you want 1 million badly, you get there, and then you say you want 10 million, and then you get to 10 million. And then that's also like the lifestyle inflation, in my opinion, as well, even though it means a lot of other things. I feel like it's also lifestyle inflation. If you make 1 million, then you get to 10 million, and then you make friends that all have $10 million, and you're like, you know what? No. Or maybe your friends have like 20 million. You're like, no, no, no. Now I need to get to the 20 million bracket, and then you guys are all in the 20 million bracket, and then you meet people with $1 billion, and it just like never ends. And that is a very tiring life. Like I'm tired just talking about that, like thinking about that. So I think one of the main money lessons that I've ever learned is the whole world likes to compare and like compete. I'm not about that. Like I'll look at like random girls on like my social media pop up on my FYP and they're like super gorgeous and like really fit bodies, goes to the gym, yoga, and like does like 10 facials a week. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. And like just look like this, what is it called? Like this Cinemax version of yourself from Molly's Game. That's a quote from Molly's Game, the movie. But yeah, like most girls I know would all want that, but it's also very tiring and expensive. So it's very easy to like compare yourself to all the things that you want in life. But then there's like a cap. You can't keep comparing yourself to everybody because then it's just you're never going to be happy. Like you're literally never going to be happy. Um, and then in terms of like a tip that I have that I have personally learned, um, about, like, how I personally feel like I've become happier through the years doing this one thing is just say less about yourself. Like, not like say less as in like, "Oh, I shouldn't be sharing anything on YouTube." Hi there, Six Lens. Um, I think it's very and Screw Up Who Grew Up, hi there. Watching you since you had your I've been here since infamous Doge pillow. The Doge pillow is still here. I'll show the Doge pillow to you guys. Hold on. La la la. Say hello. Oh my god, I'm like skipping all over the place. I'm sorry. That's just how my brain works. But I will talk more about crypto and Doge. He's going to remind me. Backside. Okay. I'm just gonna leave his little ears over there. Um, oh yeah, sorry, the tip. The tip that I thought was very important that I feel like I learned through the years is when I was younger, not that I had like much money when I was younger. I wish I knew about crypto and was like balling when I was younger, but I wasn't. Um, Sold some of my Dogecoin during the spikes. Don says, send my checking account 1K and have about 4K in buying power. Small wins and we'll be poised for some future buying opportunities. Yes. So that is something I also want to talk about. Oh my gosh, I'll get there. Okay, I'll get to crypto in like 1 second. I'm just gonna say the tip that I have. Again, not financial advice, but it works for me. So take it as entertainment, whatever you will. But I realized that when I was younger, I used to care more about having people think of me at like a higher level and like because like you're in high school and like nobody really knows what like how if your parents bought their house or rents or how much money your parents have or you have in your account. Like most people don't. So I feel like when I was younger, like in high school, I would like when people ask me like, oh, like are your parents rich, I'd be like, yeah, like they're good, instead of being like, oh, we're poor. Right? Which honestly, like, we were never that poor, like food stamps, like, level, and, like, I had no money for food to go to school, and my clothes were, like, had holes in them. I was never like that, but then I was never, like, balling rich, like, my parents ever bought me, like, a BMW or whatever. So I feel like it was a tiring life for me as a kid because I cared so much about what other people thought, and I actually still know a lot of people, like, at my current age, which I will not tell you, but I'll go with 45 on the internet. If you need a number, I'll just say close enough, 45. And then I feel like there's still a lot of people that are like much older now that are still kind of acting like they're in high school. Like they'll paint this lifestyle that is not real and try to act like they have all this money that they don't have. And that is expensive. So I feel like of recent, like the past few years, I would say almost like the past decade of my life almost, I've just been more real about the fact that I am just not rich. And like I've always just kind of told people that like, oh, I have no money. Oh, okay. And they'll be like, oh, I want to go on like a Euro trip or I want to do this and that. Like, oh, Lucy, you want to go with? And it's gonna be like all bougie and expensive. And to be honest, even sometimes when I could afford it, like I had the money for it in the bank, or if I sold my stocks or crypto, whatever, I could afford it. I'd rather just be like, no, sorry, I'm poor. I can't. Like, I just don't have the money. Or like, sorry, I have to save up for a house. I just don't have the money. And I feel like once I started to do that, life just got so much easier. Like, and I think that that is I personally think that is one of the best ways to live. Instead of acting like you have a bunch of money, whether you actually make a lot of money and have it or not, which I think a lot of people in our world are in credit card debt, acting like they have a lot and just like putting up a front when they don't, and then you just become more in debt. It's better to whether you have money or don't have much or you're trying to save towards something, and just tell the world and tell the people around you, your friends and family included, like, "Hey, I don't have much." You know? Because then you don't have much to, like, show for. You don't have to, like, get things, buy things just to, like, create this facade. Like, it's all fake, right? Like, in a sense, it's almost like when we talk about social media, Instagram posts being fake, in a sense, a lot of people are living their lives, like, completely fake, but then they're paying for it. it's more than just like, oh, I'm gonna stand in front of a car that I don't own and like pose in front of a Bugatti or whatever and post it on Instagram. Like that's fake too, but that's free fake. Do you know what I mean? Like that's, you did not have to pay for that Bugatti. But then there are people out there who will maybe lease a car that they can't really afford every single month to look like they're rich and show off to friends and family that they have like all this stuff or all this money, or to appeal to some folks like they have all this money when they don't. And I think that just ends up becoming very costly. So that would be my tip, honestly. And I follow it. I'd rather just tell folks like I just don't have the money. If I really want to do something and I want to blow money on like a Euro trip or like something bougie, I will do it. But I feel like you don't have to say yes to everything, even if you can afford it. And especially if you can't afford it, it is so much better for your soul and like just you and your own like mental peace of mind to just be like, say you have less than you actually have. Always say you have less than you actually have. And I think that's kind of similar to why a lot of people are in credit card debt, because they're not only like saying it out loud, but it's like they're pretending that they have the money when they don't. And like honestly, I don't understand credit card debt because I think that's also like it's like a perception problem. It's like there's either people that are like me who look at a credit card charge as a tool. Like you're either looking at a credit card as literally just a tool to help you gain credit, and also it's more protection because if you're using a debit card to swipe everywhere, chances are your data would have been breached a long time ago. Because when you pay with a debit card and someone gets your PIN or whatever, like that money's not coming back. But when someone breaches your credit card, you can tell the credit card company, like, okay, that wasn't me. Like, and someone just like hacked my account or whatever. Right. And there's usually like the credit card companies will stop those payments before sometimes even you realize. And and that's like, again, so much of money, of like why people have money, why people don't have money, why people save up, and why people are in credit card debt is like so much of it is like how you want the world to perceive you, how much you care about what other people think, and then also your perception of like what it is. Because we could both be looking at a credit card, but some people are seeing a credit card as just like magical money that pops out of nowhere and I can just like swipe it endlessly and I never have to pay it back. That's not true. And that is why there are so many people that are in debt. Okay, like that is like honestly one of the main reasons why I think so many people are in debt. Because like, yeah, okay, like a piece of plastic feels great, like swiping around and you can whatever. But you you're gonna be the one, like, that's tied to your name and your address and your socials. You're gonna be paying for it. So when I like, ever since I was a child, I always understood it as a credit card is simply to protect me from not using my debit card. Where if I swiped it, and there's all these scams out there where people like, I don't know, put like sometimes there's like a fake cover, I think that they put, or they've like, I don't know, did some type of techie BS work to the ATM machines or put a cover over and then reads your code for your debit card. So there's like all these scams out there. So almost using a credit card is better to like protect yourself. Um I think Robinhood went like another level. So my SO was telling me, because I have the Robinhood Gold credit card. By the way, if you want to check it out, link down below to Robinhood. But anyways, I use a Robinhood Gold credit card because it gives me 3% on everything. This is not sponsored, by the way. But he told me, because my SO also has the Robinhood Gold because 3% on everything is great. But he told me that I think Robinhood created this thing where they actually create like these numbers for you to like kind of protect your identity another layer, but you have to like turn it on. So it's not like right now I'm using my Robinhood credit card with just like my digits and my name, but I could like use this other function that they have where it protects you like another layer. So go and check that out. I'm not explaining it perfectly right, but anyways, your data is very important. And I just view credit cards as, if I don't have the cash to pay for it, I'm not going to swipe my credit card. Like I have to have the money. Like I have good credit. So like, let's say like I have like $100,000 in, let's say, one credit card. If I don't have $10,000 in the bank, I am never going to swipe $10,000 on my credit card. In fact, it makes no financial logical sense to swipe $10,000 on your credit card if you just had $10,000 in your bank account, in my opinion. Because first off, most like banks in America, you need that minimum or else they charge you like the maintenance fees, right? So then why would you spend all of your money to pay back your credit card and then you be below, like usually I think it's around 1,500, you would be below the amount that is necessary for you to even have them maintain your account, because you need like $1,500. Most of the banks might be different from other banks, but most of the banks in America, I believe, are like $1,500 bare minimum you need, or else they charge you a maintenance fee. And actually, City usually, like, I think they recently changed their rules where even the 1,500 minimum doesn't even cover it anymore. You need to be sending in, like, I think people have to like either sell you at least $200, or you need to be like, you need to have money going into the account, basically paying to have an account, which is just a mind-boggling to me. But yeah, don't do that. All right, now that's my tip for the whole situation of why I think a lot of people can't save money and can't reach their financial goals, because you're trying to please people. You're trying to look a certain way, paint this certain lifestyle that just isn't really real or you can't keep up with, and then you're in debt for it. Definitely don't do that. Um, and I want to talk about crypto. So, with crypto, Dawn mentioned, lovely mod, Dawn mentioned that you sold some Dogecoin. You sold some Dogecoin. I did too. I sold some Dogecoin. But I will say, I kind of regret it. Not gonna lie. Oh, I feel so dumb. So, okay, I will tell you guys this. And again, not financial advice. This is just what I lived through. I did a quick little dive multiple times of my trading life. Like the obviously I've traded like hundreds of different stocks at this point, options and cryptos and stocks. And I can't remember every little dumb move I made, but there were ones that really stood out, you know? There were ones that really stood out. Eric's like, I invested 100,000 into Labubu collection. I am hoping to sell it for 1 million. You and a lot of other folks, same. I don't have friends that are invested into Labubus. Actually, I know friends of friends that invest in Labubus, but they're making really good money. If they bought it early, like, cause I think Labubus were like $20 to $30 USD, less than if you bought it from China or whatever. And I'm on Whatnot all the time. Which I've already told you guys, link down below. Use my link for Whatnot, and then you can get, I think, like a $10 credit back. But anyways, I'm always on Whatnot streams because I'm trying to get free giveaways, and you just enter. You don't have to pay anything to enter those Whatnot giveaways. I actually recently won a Pop Mart a blind box that's probably worth at least $20, $30 at this rate, and they're gonna send it to me, so I don't know what it is because it always says random givey or whatever. Hi there, Johnny. All the folks that are joining, Camion. Sorry if I say your name wrong. And the whole Pop Mart situation, like, no, the whole Whatnot situation is when I'm like watching other people's streams. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Like the money, they're just rolling in money with the Labubus. Okay. Because I'm like, wow, if these guys bought it for $20 a pop USD, $30 a pop even, they're selling it like like pretty much every 10 seconds for like 50, 60, $70. And I'm like, what? That is crazy. But yeah, that's Whatnot for you. And I see it all the time. I refuse. I have not paid $70 for a Labubu. My Labubus, and I'll show you guys. Okay, they are really cute though. I will say they're ugly cute. So these two I opened up from blind boxes that my SO bought me. He did buy me more that I have sealed, and I'm just too busy to open them up. And I think I have enough. Like, he's like, "Oh, you want me to buy you more?" I'm like, "No, I think I'm done." Like, I just don't have space. Like, I need, and again, that's like, the mindset. Like, I can't afford to buy little items that will crowd my tiny 400 square feet space. I need to just like have a bigger home. I need to buy a bigger house. So then I can ever consider buying smaller, tiny little items if I choose to. But then also, these items are not going to make me more money in the future. Like, I don't know. It's a toss, right? Like, some people are actually investing like thousands of dollars into Pokemon like they are for Labubus. And whether it's going to become, like a Beanie Baby situation where, like, I think in the 2000s, people were buying a bunch of Beanie Babies, hoping that it's going to go into the millions, and then it didn't. I don't know. I have more faith in this one because I feel like the company, or either like Labubu brand or Potmart itself, is just doing really good advertising to the point where all these celebrities are like constantly wearing it, as these are called like pendants, right? Because they go on your purse. Um, I think the advertising is just next level. So I don't see it going, like, I don't think by 2026 everyone's gonna like trash their Labubus. That's just like my 2 cents. But I don't want to be spending $100,000 on it. That's all I'm going to say. Unless if I did spend $100,000 like last year on Labubus and like shipped a whole container from China over here. And then I had like all these Labubus at a base price of $20 USD, and I'm like selling it on Whatnot left and right. Then yeah, I'd be balling. And that'd be a great idea. But just to like buy it now is like so risky because I don't even think it's $20 to $30 anymore if you try to buy it. Like, it's really, really expensive now because everyone knows you could just like go on a Whatnot stream, or I don't know where else they're selling it, and easily sell it for like $60, $70. No Pot Mart in California I have gone to has had any Labubus for sale in box for me to buy. Sorry, give me 1 second. Welcome, guys. For those of you guys that are new here, I know I post a lot of game videos content on here just because, YouTube is really pushing that. So I'm going with the flow. I like to grow my channel to 100,000 subscribers. But I've always liked talking about finance. So my live streams will be mostly about finance, unless if I'm opening up Pokemon cards, which I just have no time for right now. But this whole episode is going to be about money, which I love talking about because I think it's not talked about enough. And I think that's also why we have like a problem in America and just kind of generally all around the world. Give me 1 sec. Almost lost my train of thought, but I'll get back to it. Oh, so we're talking about Dogecoin. Okay, so my idiotic move is I did sell Dogecoin last year. I didn't sell all of it, but I did sell. I think I did tell you guys. I did sell, not gonna tell you exactly how much, but I paid a hefty tax bill. And looking back, I should have just held. I should have just held because I wouldn't have paid so much in taxes if I didn't sell, and I would be way up if I didn't sell. And it wasn't just Dogecoin that I sold. I sold some other positions too that were in the green. But then if I like now looking back, I just shouldn't have done anything. Like, literally, you guys, actually rewinding back to 2020, even 2021, anything. Like, almost anything, not literally anything. Because Neo, I really wish I sold at like 65. I didn't. Around the 60s. I sold at like 20 something, but I bought it for like $2 to $3. Neo, the Chinese EV stock. So there was like, that was like a rare one though. That was like a rare one where I got out and I'm like glad because I don't think Neo is even near $22 right now. But almost everything else, like Tesla stocks, Apple stocks, Tesla options, Apple options, I just should have held. Like, that's it. No questions asked. And even Bitcoin, because I told you guys, those of you guys that have been here before, I did own Bitcoin. Not like 10 Bitcoin or whatever, but I did own Bitcoin, whole Bitcoins, at like an $8,500 purchase. And then I ended up selling it at like only $10,000, like around 10,000, not even $12,000 per Bitcoin. And that still hurts my soul to this day. Like, I can't, like, sometimes it just like, I'll just zone out and be like, Bitcoin makes me sad. Do I get forms from the bank? Yeah, like I pay my tax bills. Everything that I sell. So I don't know how you guys do it, but like, I sell on these brokerages, these platforms that send me tax bills. Everything's tracked, right? So, yeah, I had to pay a lot of taxes, which I now just think I'm stupid for because when you diamond hand and you don't sell, you may lose all your money, or you'll see big numbers going up and you don't have to pay taxes because you didn't make any money, right? You did not sell. You have no realized gains. Again, not financial advice to you guys. I am just going to say my personal experiences. If I held my XRP, my Bitcoin, all my Dogecoin, because I'm not going to say I let go of everything, I still have Dogecoin, but if I held all my Dogecoin, um, I would have just been a lot richer. But I have to live my life. Like, because I was and you know what? I kinda yeah, you know what? Come to think of it, I think I think why I ended up selling so much is because I chose this, like, entrepreneurial path, right? Okay, because if you guys think about it, I recently this year, just now, literally just now for, like, almost 2 months, I've been doing whatnot streams, right? I've been working as an employee. Like, I'm working for someone else's company and getting a getting paid for being a salesperson. So that's like extra money that I'm making, right? Um, and I didn't have that. I didn't have that since like 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. So like more than 4 years of my life, I've just been making money off of like social media, barely anything, by the way. I mean, at one point I was making like $6,000 plus a month because like crypto was taking off and I was making all these like live stream videos. Like at the height of it, it was like six to $7,000 a month easy just on YouTube. But of course, that came crashing down when crypto went down. Okay. And that's something I did not foresee, like just being naive and new to it all. Right. But, anyways, um, for the majority of the 4 years, I was making, like, nothing, like, barely anything survivable on social media, but I was still doing it because I love it, and now it's growing again, so I'm really happy about that. But anyways, it basically went, like, money-wise on YouTube, and then boom, and then now it's slowly crawling upwards because the subscriber count's growing and my videos are hitting in like the millions of views and hundreds of thousands. Some of them still in like 200 range, but I feel like my short videos are just really exploding. Hence why I've been going ham on it. If you didn't notice, I post about 10 to 14 to 15, sometimes 16 short videos a day of just like games and filters because that's the thing that's really taking off on YouTube. And I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to roll with it. It doesn't mean I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. I honestly do enjoy playing the games though, but maybe one day I'll just change it. I'll be like doing makeup or doing like more short videos about food or travel or finance. I don't know. But right now I'm trying to keep it in one like game-ish niche. So if you don't like it, just ignore it. Doesn't matter. Um, but I am on the grind. Okay. Anyways, so I feel like looking back on my finances, just to be open with you guys, I think I would have diamond handed better. I would have held on to all the things I told you guys. I wish I didn't sell any Doge last year. I wish I didn't sell any Tesla options and stocks, Apple, and even Luck and Coffee. Oh my God. Oh, this one over here hurts extra. So you guys know Luck and Coffee is also one of the stocks that like I started investing in and it made me money in 2019 to 2020. Like when I first got Robinhood, basically I got Robinhood in like 2020, 2019, because a coworker of mine was like, I was like, oh, use my referral link, dude. Like, get Coinbase, blah, blah, blah. And I was talking about crypto. And then he was like, oh, well, get Robinhood, trade stocks, blah, blah, blah. You could also get like free stocks. So we both like I ended up using Robinhood referral link and we're just talking about stocks at work, which we probably shouldn't have. But we're talking about stocks at work. And like basically my coworker told me about Luck and Coffee. And he wasn't even Chinese. But he was like, it's this Chinese coffee chain that's like really taken off. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go buy some. Right. So I put a couple thousand and then it grew. So that was like my almost like first taste of like, oh, stocks can like actually make me crazy money. Um, Luck and Coffee went from like 19 to around 60-ish dollars. and then I didn't sell like an idiot. I sold on the way down, but I always made money on Luck and Coffee. But then like news came out that they like cooked their books or whatever. This was like years ago. Okay. This is like during the pandemic. Some news came out where people were like allegedly saying that they cooked their books, blah, blah, blah. And then it all tanked. And it then went over the counter OTC, right? And then it went and got like taken off from, was it like NASDAQ or something? It got taken off and it was like over the counter. Sorry if my terms are wrong. Um, and then I held on to it for long enough that when, oh, sorry, no, I bought it like right before it went OTC. So I bought it when it was really cheap, like maybe like $2, $3. And then I sold it OTC, but in my Robinhood account. So like other people couldn't buy it, but because I already had it, I could sell it or something like that. And I sold it and I made like a good amount of money, but I sold it at like more than $4, not like $10 or anything. And now it's like 30 something dollars again. It's crazy that if I just held on for like 3 more years, it would have like 10x at the point that I sold it for. So it's like even through all the crazy news, it can still like dive down and go back up. Again, I can't say that that's going to happen with everything, but I believed in it. Like I believed in it. And it's crazy is like I went back to China last year and I drank so much Luck and Coffee and I love it. And I didn't look at the price of Luck and Coffee recently until I saw an Instagram post yesterday of Luck and Coffee opening up their first like shops in New York, America. Um, and then I was like, whoa, oh my God, they're gonna like, I believe personally that they're gonna do well. So then I went and looked at their stock and I'm like, well, too late. It's like in the 30s. And again, I could still buy it if I really believe in it, right? I could still let me look actually. I'm pretty sure it is in the 30. Let me just show you guys the insane chart of Luck and Coffee, okay? And again, that just makes me feel like I really just should have held on to everything. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's ADR, but it's like $36. Oh my God. Okay, let's go to max. See that dip? See that dip in the last 5 years? So I was there in the beginning. Okay, I was there in the beginning when it was like low. I bought it up high, sold a little bit, made money, bought a little bit down here, thought I was a genius when I sold it when it was OCT like up here. And then it just kept going. Okay, anyways. Um, so I guess my trading experience, everybody is different, is that I should have just diamond handed almost everything, whether it's stocks or options or crypto. Almost everything I bought just grew further from the point of which I sold it. And a lot of the times, like that moment I told you, I sold it because there was so much bad news about it, is like I let the exterior scare me and I sold. And that's kind of like the people who sold Bitcoin when it dropped from $17,000 down to like 3 grand. In the moment, they felt very smart. And then now I'm sure the people who sold it in 2017 or whatever are like kind of kicking themselves the way that I am for selling it at like 10 grand per Bitcoin. So, and why I feel like my life, my decision, it is very a big, like I can't blame myself too much because I think a lot of people are like this. It's not just me. Like we're all greedy. I'll admit I'm greedy. You don't have to admit you are, but I think I'm a very basic minded, like pretty greedy person when it comes to, I obviously like 7x, more than 7x, like Dogecoin, for example, in 2021. And I still didn't think that that was enough and I still didn't sell. So I feel like I'm very basic and a lot of other people didn't either. Some really smart folks did though. But I feel like I am very basic and greedy in terms of not finding it easy to let go of of a stock or crypto that clearly went way above and beyond. Um, so I made a lot of mistakes in that. But then another reason why I sell is because I feel like I just need the money. Like I feel like I'm poor. I need the money to like hold on to, maybe go on a trip, spend. And one of the reasons why I also sold last year is because think about it. Right now, I am financially doing better than ever in terms of like I've had a previous jobs. Like I've had a lot of gigs and done a lot of jobs. Like I've worked since I was like literally a teenager. Um so I've worked so many different jobs in my life and now what I'm doing right now like hosting and like being a salesperson at whatnot, like I feel like I am doing better than ever financially. And because I didn't have that last year, like I didn't have this extra income, like I was still working and making good money, but I didn't have like extra income coming in that it made me feel like it was more necessary for me to sell things. Does that make sense? Like I think going back to last year, if I had like this extra inflow of money coming in from like a job, like a corporate job or a sales job, I would not have sold a lot of the positions that I've sold. And then therefore I would have been in a better position. So that's also there's that. Thank you so much, Don. Oh, thanks for the super chat. You did not have to do that. Be encouraged knowing you were in a prime position because you put yourself there and you keep getting closer, keep grinding, knowing you help folks skip pitfalls. Appreciate you always. Thank you so much, Don. I mean, I hope that like what I'm sharing with you guys, somebody can use it for some good. I don't know. But it's also like a journal almost. I guess like a financial journal that I hope to look back at one day. I always say I'm going to one day look at my older videos. I don't though. I do find my own videos kind of cringe, but whatever. Maybe when I'm 80 or 90, I'll look back at them and be like, okay, you've gotten wiser, Lucy. Like you're trading better and different. Um, so yeah, looking back on my like investment journey, I think I would have just been better off doing less moves, actually. Um, Truly, I calculated it. So I would have just made more money if I just like literally did nothing. And I saw this because I watch a lot of finance YouTube stuff. And so I can't know exactly who said it because sometimes I don't remember people's names. I just like listen to them and just like it'll be like the next one up, the next thumbnail up, and I'll just keep watching different items. But someone, I'm sure this isn't the only person who said it, someone said something along the lines of they've done like there's been studies. I don't know if it's America or London or whatever, or England. There's been studies about how like people who forgot their accounts, people who passed away, there's been like a study, and I think people say like there's some form of study, I don't know when it was done or where, about how people who basically don't look at their accounts because they can't because they passed away or they forgot the password to their account so they haven't gotten in through years of just not moving and like investing, they actually made more money than folks who are just like actively trading all the time. And I'm sure you guys have heard of the whole monkey thing where I think there was like another study with like monkeys threw darts at random stocks and then that also performed better than like some folks that are like in hedge funds and they have like all these finance degrees and didn't trade better. Um I don't know. I believe that to an extent. I think humans will be better at trading than monkeys in my opinion. Um I like to think that, not backed up with science or my own little surveys or whatever, but I like to think that humans are better than monkeys in terms of investing, but we are very emotional creatures. And I think a lot of us, myself included, we fall for the same exact faults. Like when I just talked about the luck and coffee thing and it dipped down, I get all scared and I let the news get to me and I sell off. Whereas it's like if I believed in it, wouldn't have it made more sense if I be happy that it dropped so then I can buy more? And it's almost like, for example, like people who believed in Tesla and they bought a lot of Tesla stock. If you really believed in Tesla, then when every time it drops, you should be celebrating because it dropped and not letting it affect you and then sell off. But so many people I know sold off Apple and like the moment when like I think who was it? Not Tim Cook. Steve Jobs, sorry. When Steve Jobs first like came on the scene, I think a lot of people were like freaking out and like they started to sell. And like I think either right before the iPhone or yeah, right before the iPhone as well, the stocks were kind of like moving like crazy. So a lot of people didn't even think that Apple was going to make it in the beginning course. And it's just like news, it's just noise. So it's almost like a lot of folks sell on whatever fear is pumped to them in the media or the news. And you're just really better off if you really believe in this conviction that you have to double down. And like, and same with me, like I believed in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Dogecoin, and to be honest, even XRP. But my conviction is just not strong enough. And like my mind is weak in the sense where when it does drop, I get scared. With news or with zero news, I get scared. And then I do what everybody else does, which is hit that sell button. When now looking back for the last 5 years, really, of me even focusing on anything like listening to all these finance podcasts every day and like trying to learn about money. In the last 5 years, looking at my own trading history, I'm like, man, if every time I just did the opposite of what the average person who is myself did, I would be so much richer. And it's just so crazy. Um, Major, minor, tisk timing tops and bottoms. And you can't, and that's why people say like more time in the market beats timing the market, right? Like that's that whole saying. I should really like write that out for myself and just put it on like a big board. I need like a poster to remind myself of all these things that I supposedly know, but then when it's like, and that's another thing in life, right? Like we can know to drink a lot of water every day. We can know to go and like take a little walk after you eat dinner and don't eat all the stuff that with all the chemicals you don't understand on the back of your chips and like food coloring. Like you know what you know, but to actually do it takes like another level of mind control and power. So I'm still working on that. Um and again, yeah, like everybody's circumstances are different. So it is just so much easier for someone who has a trust fund. Um Maybe your parents bought you a house and gave you a bunch of money to trade. It's much easier for that, and maybe even gives you an allowance every month. It's much easier for a human being like that to diamond hand Bitcoin and diamond hand Dogecoin that they YOLO'd into with like all this money that they didn't actually have to earn and have no responsibilities versus regular folks like you and I, like that have came from nothing and like you make your own money, blood, sweat, and tears, and you see that money in the market, like, and it's growing and it's dropping and it's like freaking you out. And so I have to make these decisions like, oh my God, I don't want this thing to go to zero. And then I'll have like no money. Right. And my dreams of buying a house is just going to go collapse. So I think like it's sad, but it is true that people with less just, you have it so much harder, right? Because you are mentally in like a different playing field than someone who has money. But then it's almost like you have to play it like you are someone. And again, that's like perception. It's like I have to play it like I'm rich when I'm not rich because the people that are playing it rich are the ones who are capable of diamond handing. And regular folks without much money, it's not that easy for us to diamond hand because you have to think about maybe getting a house, maybe having kids, a mortgage, this and that. And everything costs so much money. And the feeling of something going from, let's say like $100,000 and like in the world of crypto, $100,000 can easily go to $10,000 in less than a couple of months. I've experienced it. And that is not something that is that easy to stomach for like a newbie, a young person, and just anyone of any age that does not have that like safety cushion, parents with a lot of money to fall back on, or maybe like a wealthy spouse, whatever. And most of us don't have that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of it is perception and it's like a mind game. Whether you work like a corporate job and there's like all this politics, it's mind games, or in the stock market, literally trading, you're like, you have to like figure out what everyone else is thinking, whether they're doing TA or like how they are moved by the news. But then you also have to think about how you're reacting And if you're reacting like every other person, then you're probably going to have exactly the results of every other person. So almost like when you are doing things that are shocking and maybe people don't understand it, that might even actually be a little bit better in a sense. So props to anyone pulling themselves up any kind of personal struggles. Absolutely. We never know what other people are going through. And so, yeah, like definitely props up to anybody who is getting through something that is rough. I do believe that even though most of us don't have like trust funds and all this money that we come into, and parents who buy us like just multiple mansions for no reason, um, I think even though most of us are at a disadvantage, it also pushes you to like have that drive to work harder than others and be able to achieve a lot of things that maybe if you were just handed like all this dough, you wouldn't be able to do. Um, Anyways, we'll end things off with, because I gotta go and I gotta do like, this is my day off, but my day off, I'm actually focusing on like my own stuff, right? On my day off, I have to focus on doing my own e-commerce, which I have still been running, but I will say like the more things I'm piling on to myself, like the more time I'm taking away from my day, it's forcing me to like waste less time scrolling, like doom scrolling. I never really doom scroll, to be honest, on TikTok. Like every time I scroll on TikTok, I'm like finding filters to use to make my own videos, like throw my own content out there. But I think when you make yourself so busy, it just forces you to be like, oh, time really, really matters. And I have to appreciate every second and waste less time on just stupid things. So now, like, I think when I get into like a stupid situation with like a mutual or like a friend or anything, like sometimes you get into like these awkward social situations, and if I wasn't as busy, I feel like I might think twice on it. And then now I'm just like, I don't care. There's just so many other things in life that matter so much more. And even though I'm like focusing so much on like my own business and growing someone else's business and making money and like trying to have this future family, kids one day, and first build this shelter and have like a home, it also forces you to be like, okay, well, that's just money though. And a lot of it is just like items. I also have to think about like, I still have to call my mom. I still have to talk to my family. I still want to like do things that are the whole point. You can't lose the plot. Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. You're welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be more. Like I said, whenever I have like time or day off, I'm gonna try to make more of these. I'll also be on the second channel as much as possible, just talking more like less focus on money and just more on everything else. But I think everything I told you guys in terms of stocks and crypto, though, again, not financial advice, but I really just believe in Doge still, and also in all these other cryptocurrencies, whether I have it or not, to be honest, because I just can't afford to invest in every type of cryptocurrency or NFT or whatever. I just don't have that much funds. But I will say, I think this is still just the beginning. Like, I know it's crazy to say it, but looking around at the masses and most people I know, a lot of people still are not invested in crypto. And once it is something that you can invest in or easily see, right? Like one day, and I do believe this could be possible, that one day you could walk into your bank and be like, yo, I want to like put 50 grand into like Bitcoin or whatever. Again, not saying that it will for sure happen, but when that happens, it's not going to be as easy to make money in crypto anymore. So, and I still think that we are way far from that. Like, we're way far from literally every single person you know thinking that it's normal. And I'm not saying that this is the future. I might be completely wrong and crypto could be canceled like next year. Who knows? But if we are headed that way, like there's only two ways. Either crypto is going to be completely forgotten, canceled. Maybe all the countries are going to agree together, like, oh, we're not doing this thing, right? It's either going to be completely goners or it's going to go up, 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 up. And I think I am making a bet that it is going to go up. But even though I'm saying this, it doesn't mean I'm not ever hitting that sell button, because like I said, holding most of my stocks in crypto benefited me the most in life. But sometimes timing the market also benefited me. And that worked for my Ethereum. Like Ethereum, I've been selling in and out for the last few years, 2 years, 2, 3 years, 2 years, 2 years only. And I feel like that did better than if I just held on and didn't sell anything at all. Because Ethereum's a funny one. But then that's also luck, right? It's not like I knew I foresaw this, right? It was also just a bet. And I took risks. But yeah, overall, I believe in crypto. But that if I'm completely wrong on my direction, it's nothing that can help me, right? It's like me saying I believe in the stocks in America, and I do, and I believe that it is like gonna go upwards, and that people who invest in the S&P 500 is gonna be more well off than folks who in 50 years are not invested in the S&P 500. That's also a belief of mine. But again, when you're full, like it's either gonna go this way or that way. So when your entire belief system, your direction is wrong, it doesn't matter where you're invested in, right? Like you're gonna be screwed. That's the risk that you take. But I also, the reasoning for my like uppity up belief is not just based on like the history, it's also based on my perception of rich people will do whatever it takes to stay in power and make money. And one of the number one ways for all these big CEOs that people hate on to make money is when stocks go up. And then there's all these taxes and all the implications with that. Or not having to pay taxes when they don't sell, right? And just having equity in things. So I am definitely a believer that a lot of things will continue to go up. Not saying that they're not going to have dips, but basically, I believe in following the money, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. And all that I've seen in the past, even though I wish I diamond handed a lot of items and kind of bought more on drops instead of get scared and sell, I'm going to try for the next few years and hopefully going forward. I still want to do swing trades, but I want to have higher conviction now that if something I really believe in drops, I will try not to sell it all and just like panic sell. I will try to maybe even DCA, average down, and I'm like, or just, I don't DCA all the time, to be honest, but I will try to, like, let's say, example, hopefully this doesn't happen that badly, but let's say if Dogecoin does go to 75 cents again, or like $1, and then I sell some, or maybe I sell none, and it drops to like 20 cents again. If I really believe in it, I think it would make sense for me to put my money where my mouth is at and actually end up putting maybe like a lump sum of money in it when it drops. And that same goes for like stocks, right? Like whatever stock that I believe in, whatever company I believe in, when it drops, instead of freaking out, I might just have to like have that confidence and believe in everything that I just told you guys, where I think most people hit the panic button, and like including myself, and then end up regretting it. So why don't I just do the opposite and actually buy into the thing that I believe in? But again, you have to believe in it. What's the point of buying into something that you think it's just going to go up because some things did like a V-shaped recovery? It doesn't mean everything does. You have to ultimately believe in it, and it is still a risk that you're taking. Anyways, I gotta go, you guys. Take care. Have a lovely Friday and weekend. I'll see you guys if you want to watch my videos over here. This is the main channel. Second channel, pinned it to the top of the stream. Spam a boo boo. All my links to all my platforms are in the description always. Please check it out. I also have my second channel. I also have my whatnot streams that I'm on literally like every day. So if you want to go and support over there, I'll see you on whatnot as well. Take care, guys. Bye.